Are you live? Mm-hmm. All right, folks. So we have got a special treat today. I've acquired a brisket from up in Kansas, Marshall County, Kansas. Bergmann Land and Cattle, Moser Ranches. Big shout out, grass-fed beef. If you're not buying local, you're not buying it right. So USDA has a couple of different choices for, they have Select, Choice, Prime. They don't have a category for what we're about to see. I haven't unwrapped it, I haven't seen it, we're all going to see it together for the first time. So my boy Alan wanted details when I did this, so we're going to get some details. So we've got our spices laid out. So we're going to unwrap this beast to see what we got. This is 9 pounds. A little bit smaller brisket than I normally do. But that's okay. Oh my. I mean, you can't go to the store and buy this. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you serious with me right now? So you'll notice we've got a little bit of silver skin here. We're not going to worry about that. After it's been on the smoker for 12, 14 hours, it's not going to make any difference anyhow. But if you'll look here at the striations, you'll move in for me. So if you'll look here at the striations, you can see the marbling as it runs all the way through. Now this is Simmental with a Black Angus back, which those of you know what I'm talking about, you'll get the reference. Everybody talks about Black Angus, Black Angus, Black Angus. Good meat. Simmentals make a really nice steer. Like they're, especially these guys are finishing out somewhere in the 1,200 pound mark, which is really impressive for a steer that size. So this is going to be fine here. We're going to leave all of this on here. Normally when I get a brisket, I like to trim it up. This one I'm going to leave just as it is. I'm going to leave the fat cap intact. We're not going to pull any of this apart, but you can see normally this really hard fat here, folks will trim that out. We're going to take a little bit of this here out, not much, because I want to save some of that. We'll use that for making broths and whatnot later, and our iron skillets when we cook steaks later. So we're going to trim a little bit of this out, but for the most part I'm going to leave this guy intact, and I'm going to smoke it just the way that it is. You mess with nature too much, you're going to screw it up. This is the way it goes. So, big pieces of meat. If you're not brining it, you're not doing it right. So our brine is pretty simple. We've got a cup of kosher salt. We got a cup of brown sugar. We've got star anise, coriander, sage, chili powder, whole black peppercorns. Whole black peppercorns. Some bay leaves and some mustard seed. Now our water's already warmed up. I warmed it up before we started the show. We want to make sure that water's nice and warm. It'll kind of break up some of those, some of our whole seeds here. So, wash my hands. This is beef, probably not a big deal. If it was pork or chicken, I'd be a little bit more freaked out. Beef, it's fine. But you know, in the sake of, you know, go sanitary. Yeah. So we're going to take our salt. Brown sugar. Just stir that around. Get her nice and dissolved. Oh yeah, Alan's loving the t-shirt. I know he is. One of the best shows I saw this year. So we're going to take about 3 or 4 of these guys. And if you've never used these in your cooking and your brine, I mean, come on now. And they've got just this, they bring a nice earthy, almost a licorice type flavor to your stuff, to your brines. Really nice, not overpowering by any stretch. Now, the only thing I measure out is the brown sugar and the salt. The rest of it, do it how you feel. If you feel a little bit extra spicy that day, a few more peppercorns. So a handful, done. I'm not going to get all weird, which is funny for me, you know. A chemist by trade and training, and I do things literally as I feel like. So, just going to dab out a little bit of coriander here. we got some sage. I recommend organic when you can. If you can't, don't worry about it. A little bit of chili powder. Now this is legit chili powder. This is not a blend. Make sure when you buy chili powder that it actually says chili powder. And it's not a random blend, because if you're not watching, they'll put crazy crap in there. It's chili, but it's not chili. So we're going to drop in a couple of bay leaves. Let's do that many. And now for the coup de grace. This is whole mustard seed. So we need to drop all, about what'll fit in the palm of your hand. Of course, if your hand's not as big as mine, you can do a little bit more. We're going to stir this around, and this is going to be our basic brine. And now this brine recipe works for anything: pork, beef, turkey, anything, any large piece of meat. This brine works beautifully, and it will take your smoking to the next level. So we're going to go ahead and put this in our container here. Outstanding. Rinse this out a little bit. Get it all. This is not an exact science. If anything, smoking meat is more art than it is science. All right. Now then, when you brine, you need to make sure that meat is completely covered. So our brisket's just about pushing the limits of what our container will hold. It's pretty much fine. We're going to top this off with a little bit of water. Yes, it's tap water. Yes, it will be fine. Trust me. So we're going to top this off. I'm going to cover this up, pop it in the fridge, and then tomorrow, for our next installment, take 2, is going to be the actual smoking and the logistics and everything that goes into putting the meat on the smoker and getting it off and making sure it gets cooked in time and not overdone, not underdone, and that whole 9 yards. So, tune in next time. # Grill on with Greg.